TV soap news and spoilers say that the sun rose over the picturesque yet tumultuous town of Fairmont Crest on August 5, 2025, casting a golden glow over the sprawling estates and manicured lawns that define this affluent community. But beneath the surface of this idyllic setting, secrets simmered, and lives teetered on the edge of chaos. On this day, the residents of Fairmont Crest, featured in the latest episode of Beyond the Gates, faced moments that would test their resolve, unravel their carefully constructed facades, and push them toward decisions that could alter their futures forever. From a surgeon's catastrophic lapse to a real estate mogul's dangerous financial schemes, and a young woman caught in a web of romantic turmoil, the drama that unfolded was nothing short of electrifying. Join us as we dive into the heart of these stories, where every choice carries the weight of consequence, and no one escapes unscathed. Doug's Descent, a surgeon's reckless gamble. At the heart of Fairmont Crest's medical community stands Dr. Doug Harper, a renowned surgeon whose skill with a scalpel is matched only by his reckless addiction to gambling. Doug's life has been a balancing act, juggling the high-stakes world of life-saving surgeries with the siren call of the casino. For years, his colleagues at Fairmont Crest General Hospital have whispered about his late-night poker games and mounting debts, but his charm and undeniable talent have kept him afloat, until now. On this fateful August day, Doug's addiction spiraled into a mistake so grave it threatened not only his career but the lives of those entrusted to his care. The episode opened in the sterile, fluorescent-lit corridors of the hospital, where Doug, bleary-eyed from a sleepless night at an underground poker den, prepared for a complex heart surgery. His hands, usually steady as stone, trembled ever so slightly as he reviewed the patient's chart. The patient, a beloved local teacher named Clara Evans, lay unconscious on the operating table, her life hanging in the balance. Doug's colleagues, sensing his distraction, exchanged uneasy glances, but none dared confront the esteemed surgeon, until it was too late. Mid-procedure, Doug miscalculated a critical incision, a mistake that sent Clara's vitals plummeting. Alarms blared, and the surgical team scrambled to stabilize her, but the damage was done. Clara survived, but her recovery would be long and uncertain, and Doug's error cast a dark shadow over his once sterling reputation. As news of the incident spread through the hospital like wildfire, Ted Richardson, the hospital's no-nonsense chief of staff, summoned Doug to his office. Ted, a towering figure with a reputation for zero tolerance, was not one to mince words. "You've crossed a line, Doug," he barked, his voice thick with disappointment. "This isn't just about you anymore, it's about the patients who trust us with their lives." Doug, his face pale and his usual charisma drained, tried to explain himself, citing stress and personal struggles, but Ted was unmoved. The specter of suspension loomed large, and whispers of a potential malpractice lawsuit began to circulate. Could this be the end of Doug's career, or would his charm and connections pull him through once more? The episode left viewers on edge, wondering if Doug's addiction would finally drag him under or if he could claw his way back from this devastating misstep. Vanessa's high-stakes hustle, a dangerous dance with money while Doug grappled with his demons. Vanessa Caldwell, Fairmont Crest's most glamorous real estate tycoon, found herself entangled in a web of her own making. Known for her impeccable style and ruthless ambition, Vanessa had built an empire selling multi-million-dollar estates to the town's elite. Her life was a carefully curated display of luxury, designer gowns, private jets, and glittering galas, but beneath the surface, her world was crumbling. Vanessa's lavish lifestyle had come at a steep price, one she could no longer sustain through legitimate means. Enter Joey Malone, a charismatic but dangerous figure with ties to the underworld, who offered Vanessa a way to keep her empire afloat, a money-laundering scheme that promised to funnel extra cash flow through her real estate deals. On this day, Vanessa's carefully constructed facade began to crack. As she closed a deal on a sprawling mansion overlooking Fairmont Crest's rolling hills, a sharp-eyed accountant named Rachel noticed irregularities in Vanessa's financial records. Rachel, a meticulous and principled woman, flagged the suspicious transactions and reported them to the firm's compliance officer. "This doesn't add up," Rachel said, her voice trembling with the weight of her discovery. There's too much money moving through these accounts, and it's not tied to any legitimate sales. Vanessa, unaware of the scrutiny, continued her high-wire act, meeting Joey in a dimly lit corner of a downtown bar to discuss their next move. "We're in too deep to stop now," Joey warned, his eyes glinting with a mix of greed and menace. "One wrong move, and we're both finished." The tension was palpable as Vanessa navigated her dual life, smiling for clients while dodging the growing suspicion around her. Every phone call, every knock at her office door, sent her heart racing. Would this be the moment her empire collapsed? The episode masterfully captured Vanessa's paranoia, her manicured nails tapping nervously on a glass of champagne as she weighed her options. Would she double down on her dangerous alliance with Joey, or would she find a way to extricate herself before the authorities closed in? For Vanessa, the stakes had never been higher, and the glitz of her world was beginning to feel like a gilded cage. Ashley's heart in turmoil. A mother's wisdom and a passionate confession amid the high-stakes drama of Doug and Vanessa, a more intimate story unfolded, one that tugged at the heartstrings of Beyond the Gates fans. Ashley Morgan, a vibrant young woman with a bright future, found herself caught in a romantic maelstrom that threatened to upend her life. Ashley's heart was a battlefield, torn between her ex-boyfriend, Derek, a dependable but predictable accountant, and her new flame, Andre, a freelance photographer whose roguish charm and adventurous spirit had swept her off her feet. The two men represented starkly different paths. Derek offered stability, while Andre promised passion and unpredictability. Ashley's indecision had left her sleepless, her emotions a tangled knot she couldn't unravel. Enter Jan Morgan, Ashley's mother and a pillar of wisdom in Fairmont Crest. Jan, a retired schoolteacher with a keen intuition, sensed her daughter's turmoil and invited her for a heart-to-heart at their cozy family home. Over steaming mugs of chamomile tea, Jan listened as Ashley poured out her heart, her voice breaking as she described her lingering feelings for Derek and her electric connection with Andre. "Derek's safe, Mom," Ashley admitted, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "But Andre, he makes me feel alive in a way I've never felt before." Jan, her face etched with maternal concern, offered gentle but pointed advice. "Love isn't just about feeling alive, Ashley," she said softly. "It's about trust, respect, and someone who'll stand by you when the sparks fade. But you need to listen to your heart, really listen, and not be afraid of what it tells you." Jan's words lingered with Ashley as she left the house, her mind racing. That evening, fate intervened in the form of Andre, who found Ashley at a local art gallery where his latest photographs were on display. The gallery, bathed in soft light and filled with the hum of conversation, provided the perfect backdrop for a moment that would change everything. Andre, his usual swagger softened by vulnerability, pulled Ashley aside and confessed his feelings. "I know I'm not the safe choice," he said, his voice low and earnest. "But I'm falling for you, Ashley. I want us to build something real." Before she could respond, he cupped her face and kissed her, a passionate, soul-stirring kiss that left Ashley breathless and the audience swooning. The episode closed with Ashley standing alone in the gallery, her heart pounding as she grappled with her mother's advice and Andre's confession. Would she follow her heart into Andre's arms, or would the comfort of Derek's familiarity pull her back? A town on the brink. The ripple effects of choices. As the episode drew to a close, the interconnected lives of Fairmont Crest's residents painted a vivid portrait of a community teetering on the edge. Doug's surgical blunder sent shockwaves through the hospital, threatening not only his career but the trust of his patients and colleagues. Vanessa's high-stakes gamble with Joey placed her in the crosshairs of scrutiny, her empire of wealth and power at risk of crumbling. And Ashley, caught in a romantic tug-of-war, stood at a crossroads that could define her future. Each character's choices rippled outward, affecting not just their own lives but the fabric of Fairmont Crest itself. The drama of Beyond the Gates thrives on these moments of human frailty and resilience, where ambition, love, and desperation collide in spectacular fashion. On August 5, 2025, Fairmont Crest was a powder keg of secrets, and the sparks were already flying. Will Doug find redemption, or will his addiction consume him? Can Vanessa outmaneuver the forces closing in on her, or will her empire fall? And will Ashley choose the fire of new love or the comfort of the familiar? These questions linger, pulling viewers deeper into the world of Beyond the Gates. For those eager to see how these stories unfold, our channel will continue to bring you every heart-pounding moment. Stay tuned for the next episode, where the stakes climb higher, the secrets grow darker, and the residents of Fairmont Crest face the consequences of their choices. If you missed any of the action or want to relive the drama, be sure to follow our video recaps for all the details from this unforgettable day in Fairmont Crest.